And we are live, GodMomma. We are live. Live at 5. We are live at noon. We're 2 minutes late, so please forgive us.
Forgive us. We are
We're,
a little nervous. Little nervous.
we're backstage doing the most. I do want to start this off. Happy New Year. I haven't gone live since the New Year. So Happy New Year to everybody. You guys hopefully can see there's been a complete rebrand on the Lurker page. We will now be hosting podcast over here. GodMomma and I have agreed to co-host. We've agreed for a 6-week trial run. And then we want to branch out and do more. So if one thing, hi everyone in the chat. One thing I want to say though, wrenches were taken, please. If you are a normal subscriber to the Lurker, wrenches were taken today. Just because we're rebranding, the fuckery that I like to do will be moved to another location. The NAB backup, my backup channel, the NAB Uncensored. Thank you all for the compliments. We will be doing the NAB activity. We'll still be doing that, but it will be on the NAB channel. This right here is the Concerned Citizens podcast. We will be doing weekly uploads, weekly lives, different guests, different topics.
Yes, hopefully from more than just a small section of YouTube. Hopefully we can get guests from all over.
Yep. We're ready to network. We're ready to branch out. We're ready to rebrand and try something new. Speaking of new, I never share my Cash App, but that is something I will start sharing. GodMomma and I both have our Cash Apps up. Please bless us because we're starting from scratch. So if your heart feels so to do so, you can either Cash App that you hit. It all goes back to the channel. We're looking into, just upgrading our stuff. Microphones.
Upgrade your life, baby. Upgrade your life.
We want to upgrade. So, hey, everyone that's here. I see we have Soulfly. I see Tracy. I see 504. Miss Witt. Thank you, Miss Witt, for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Thank you, Soulfly. Hi, Shreebad.
Shreebad.
Hit the like, share, subscribe. And also, one thing I want to say before we get into our little intro is just thank you to all of y'all that are going to be coming through during the live and the replay. You guys have been rocking with the Lurker and GodMomma for some years. So truly appreciate it that I even have this much of a platform to utilize to move forward with the type of projects I want to do. So thank you all for, being here and rocking out with us. We appreciate that.
All right. Also, let me give a little 1-2s real quick of the Conversations with Concerned Citizens podcast. We kind of want to stick to not attacking people. So the only rule in the chat room would be like no doxing, no attacking each other. We can say opinions. We love to have your opinion. Let's just try to keep it towards topic and not specifically attacking each other. That's pretty much it because we want to have fun. This is the Conversations with Concerned Citizens because I think all of us are a little concerned with the environment that's going on. And we have an array of topics for you guys, seasons upon episodes upon.
Yes.
So I hope you guys enjoy it. The 6 weeks I think it's going to be fun.
Yep.
I think it's going to be a fun 6 weeks. And
me too.
So thank y'all.
Thank y'all. And we do have some guests lined up. We're waiting for them to hit the link. But while we're waiting, we're going to try out some new intros. Like I said, this is a rebranding. Shout out to his lordship for coming in clutch, coming in timely, and hooking us up. He hooked the Concerned Citizens up. So
Make sure to.
this is our first little intro of the concerned citizens, I guess you could say.
Honeybee, you deserve all you desire. So fly away like butterfly to what you admire. Only you can hinder you from truly reaching triumph. I'm destined for greatness because I imagine that. My skin light, but baby, I am blacker than black. I got a mean code switch voice for work type black. I'm so black that my pale teacher called me a nigga in the middle of class. And I just sat back and laughed because that word don't make me boo. It makes you miserable. Don't gotta go to the circus to know it's clowns in there.
That's cute.
You ain't gotta go to the circus to know there's clowns in it. Okay? Period.
You ain't gotta go. Circus, clowns, nuts, peanuts, all that. You can have animals putting on show. Okay, I just talked to one of our members. He's coming. He's coming, and then our other person, our resident guest, Salt, we're waiting on him to come through as well. Thank you, Miss Witch. Shout out to his lordship. He came in last minute. We happened to win a little giveaway type style, and we got blessed with that. Thank y'all. Thank you. Okay, GodMomma, I want to ask you why this topic is important to us. Why starting this podcast is important is something we'll add to it, but why was this topic, what did we name it? Do men need religion or God to be good men? Why is that important to us?
For me, it's important because we're moving. A lot of us were raised in some type of religious background, whether it was Christianity, Muslim, Islam, Buddhist, Judaism. So a lot of us have this idea that a good man is a God-fearing man. And so I kind of wanted to explore that topic because there are other influencers that say, you know, men need God to be good men. And there are some that say, you know, that religion is created for men because that's what they need. And then there's some that say we don't need them at all to be considered good people.
Right.
So, and you know, with the climate that we're in of everything is about relationship advice, what you should do, what you shouldn't do. You know, we talked about kind of just bringing something to the people to say, you know, just because you don't fit in this box doesn't necessarily mean that you're terrible or that you're not deserving. You know, so that's kind of what led me to that topic, was to kind of show people, you know, maybe you need to open your box a little bit with thinking.
I agree. And I wanted to have this conversation because I've seen a lot of men of religion or a lot of men who use God for their abuse, for their manipulation. I've seen a lot of men who go to scripture to validate their abuse. So this is why I really wanted to have a nice deep dive with this conversation, because even though you are, like you said, even though you are a good man, you might not be a godly man. And even if you are a quote unquote godly man, are you righteous? Right? Because there's a lot of godly men out here talking about, I'm ready to get swallowed up. And so that's why I wanted to dive into this conversation and really just explore it and see how the men felt, and how they dictate their thought process as far as their own submission, because they are very quick to say women are supposed to submit. Who does a man submit to and why? So I'm all for a godly man, but I would prefer a righteous man.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's where I wanted to dive in with this.
Yeah. I think a lot of people too, they don't fully comprehend their religion in a 360-degree totality.
Mm-hmm.
They a lot of the times our religions are cherry picked through to just kind of validate what we're saying in the moment. And I wanted, the first one we did, I wanted to get the men's perspective on if God or religion is what makes them be good men. Is if it is the fear of God's punishment or God's wrath that makes them, want to be a good man, or is
Right.
it just you're afraid of the after? Like, what is it that makes you stand in your morality? Is it God? Is it our first guest is here? Is it God? Is it your religious practices? Because women are sitting around and we've been screaming for years, I want a good man. I want a good man.
Right. Right.
God, send me a good man. So hopefully we can get, because me and Lurker tried our hardest to pick people from different backgrounds, whether they were spiritual, religious, kind of like nonconformist. We wanted people with different backgrounds so we could kind of all mesh together to see what outcome we could come up with.
Right.
Answer our question.
Right. And see the similarities between it all.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the abuse of religion and as far as the conforming, there's similarities in both, right? Because if you were to say Christians versus Muslims or something like that, there is a common denominator of abuse, which is men are held higher. And there's a commonality as far as being subservient to their master. Christian religion, Muslim religion, a lot of religions, except for the Buddhism and that, we'll get into that. But as far as the having a God authority, there are a lot of similarities between these religions. So, and Kanoom, I'm not sure. Okay, so we got you, babe. I see you. And we've got, okay, Kanoom's in the back chat. And Kanoom, when you're ready, just go ahead. If you don't have to cam up, and if you're ready, we're going to slide you on in, if that's okay.
Hey, who back? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Okay, cool. Yes. Hey, peace to everybody that's in the chat and everyone on the panel. Shouts out to Lurker for bringing me in, and GodMomma. Appreciate y'all.
Absolutely. Appreciate you for having time for us today.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. We have more guests coming, but they're coming. So give us a minute.
Oh yeah, no, it's all good. Well, I could understand. Definitely, everyone's got their things going on. Sure. Yes. Now this is a great topic of discussion because me and one of my brothers, we were actually having this conversation about just like the simplicity, not even going so deep on it, but just the simplicity when it comes to man and woman dynamics, because we are, man and woman on this earth, right? Is the dynamic of dealing with one another, being able to sustain, what I'm saying, especially when it comes to, the Black family and the households, what I'm saying, and it's just templates for all, what I'm saying, when we're looking at all families, when we're looking at all across the board, whether you're Chinese, Japanese, wherever you're from, you got different backgrounds, different environments that we grow up to that actually affect and reflect the behavioral structures that is formulated even in the younger society's generation when it comes to man and woman dynamics.
Formulated. So, I like that. Formulated, right.
Absolutely. It's like an experiment, or what you would say, it's really just chemistry. Like however the chemistry is molded and made, it's not just, and the thing about it is it's not just today's environment.
Right.
You know, a lot of people don't talk about how, you know, epigenetic information is passed down, you know, through the bloodline, through family to family. Through That's why your moms might be like, oh, you acting just like your grandpa used to act. Or she'd be like, oh, you acting just like your granddad. Like, there's information that be passed down through the bloodline, generation to generation, which is why certain people have, you know, behavioral tendencies that, you know, may affect their relationship with people, places, and things, whatever the case may be. So it's a reality, but we have to start stepping into an understanding about, okay, how do, you know what I'm saying, how do we weren't educated about this. None of this information was definitely not taught to me in school. So we have to understand that our current power structure and even the educational system, there's information that is being let out because, you know, it's a big science experiment. America, that's why they call it a melting pot, because you have a meltdown of culture. You have a meltdown of religions. You have a meltdown of different races. You have a meltdown of all these different, cultural infrastructures that come from different backgrounds. That is all being here in America. And what's happening is now people don't even know where they're from. That's why you have a lot of people, especially in the Black community, that have identity crisis, have been grown up in certain environments, and they don't have a clue of who they are. And that in its own instance right there will affect a whole heap of things. So if we're talking about the Black man, you know what I'm saying, needs religion, you know what I'm saying, to be righteous, or Black, because we ain't just talking about Black man now. We talk about, you know what I'm saying, women and men. So if we're talking about those type of things, deeper than that. It's deeper than that. And the truth, it can be a polarizing thing, because a lot of times, you know, if the truth goes against someone's personal beliefs or their personal way of life, they don't want to hear it. And they're just going to turn it off. Boop. Next station, please. I don't like what this nigga said.
I like that you said the identifying factor, right? Because a lot of religions, America's a new country. So we don't have the luxury of a religion being from here, right? We have to go back to our roots. We have to go back to another country. We have to, as far as African Americans, Black people in America, or just people in America in general, this is a new country. So our identity crisis, how do you think that stems to trying to find yourself and religion? How do you think that, because we're thrown in as an let me sum it up this way. As an African American, we were on slave ships, we were indoctrinated into Christianity. How do you think that has played a role on men's psyche today, as far as that religion is not for them, but they still want to serve a higher power?
Well, I'll say this. One of the things, and what does affect the men's psyche to the highest degree is the woman. What affects a man's psychological behavior to the highest degree is a woman. And let me tell y'all this. The reason why I say this is because if you look at men today, if you just look out into nature, the male aspect of what you would say figure, whether it's in nature or in the humanities, human society, generally 9 times out of 10 is not the nurturing, influential aspect as that man or child is developing into what it will become. Now, we can say that the systems and the laws and the infrastructure, as far as what's being, you know, put in today's society and the patriarchal society, that is definitely something that is shaping the, you know, the infrastructure and, you know, the ways that people can move their energy in society, because they say you can do this and you cannot do that. This is frowned upon and this is not frowned upon. There is societal norms, and there are certain things that is accepted and is not accepted in today's society, which is shaping the constructs of, you know what I'm saying, the man in today's society. But if we were really looking at it, even on a genetic level, when the child is in the womb of a mother for that 9 months, whatever that woman is going through is going to, through the process of methylation, y'all can look this up. It's called epigenetics. And epigenetics, scientists talk about this process of methylation. It's called the methylation process, meaning that certain genes are being selected through that process, in which the development of that child is going to fit the environment in which it's being born into. Now, what we have to also understand is that the mother, if she's under stress, if she's going through it with her said husband, because we know the infrastructure is already broken down and tore down. So when that's happening, that stress is also being put on the child, which this is why some children would develop, behavioral patterns, mood swings. Because guess what? Their mom was going through that mood swing in that 9-month birth process. You feel what I'm saying? You in a chamber. You know what I'm saying? Your mom is literally, you're in a hyper chamber is what that 9 months is, where she's speeding up the seed of a life process to be able to conduct that with her body, to be able to move. That's your women are literally like y'all scientists, you know what I'm saying? Y'all have the incubation ability to be able to bring life into this world. So if we're talking about what is impacting men's behavior, and look at what men do. We get all kinds of money, we flossing, we flexing, what? So we can attract a woman. You know what I'm saying? People in New York, if you want to know if you want to know the nature of a man, you know what I'm saying, at his lowest, go to New York. You're going to see what it is. Hey, yo, ma, he's going to be hollering across the street. Even in Philly, I've been in different places, and I've been seeing like an observer. Mind you, I wasn't grown up in these areas, but I'm an observer, right? You can learn from your environment. Everyone's programmed from the environment in which they came from. You got people, all across the world. People in Africa. You got people in, the UK. You got people in South America. So just to, I'm gonna land my plane real quick. So just to clarify, just to understand, yeah, we as men, you know what I'm saying, have to have culture. It's not even so much religion, because religion could be tampered with, and that could be, it's not so much religion, it's culture. We need culture. All of us need culture, and we need the right culture, not the wrong culture. We need to know where we come from and our origins. That's it. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay, so let me step in real quick, and then we'll let GodMomma step in. Let me step in real quick, though. I agree. As far as the inhabitants of a womb and how a woman can, pass on without even being aware of it being passed on, because at that point it is one body, one mind, one spirit at that point while the baby is still in her. So I totally understand that. As a man, where do you step up now? I understand that you came through a womb and you might have to deal with some trials and tribulations of the womb you came from. But as a man, you're saying culture is what we need. Where does that begin? Where do we start saying, okay, no matter what happened in the womb, we're out of the womb and we're going to take it this way? Where does that time shift?
Okay, good question. So that time shifts when and it really comes down to the individual in today's society. I'm not gonna make a blanket statement and say that every man in America or every black man in America is going to wake up, understanding who they are, and then instantly just go into like, oh yeah, culture mode, like I need to do this. And that's not, we got all kinds of distractions out here, or detractors, that is playing a definite role in the identity crisis that our people are currently experiencing right now. So if I had to give an analysis of that, as far as where that first starts with identifying self. You have to identify identity crisis. If you don't have an idea of who you are, you don't know where you're going. That's just what it comes down to. So people have to sit down with themselves, and they have to identify themselves and know where they come from.
Okay.
So with that, though, we know that can get a little dangerous when you're searching for self-identity, right? It can get a little, especially if you're out here on your own, you have no guidance, you have no grandmother, so to say, grandfather, to kind of usher you into this culture or identity. So if you just up in, because most people in the community are born and raised Christian, most, not all. So when you cut that tie, right, and you say, I need to identify self, I understand, or I've learned that this Christianity was given to me through my slave master. So now I have to go find something else or something higher level than that. And when you don't have good navigation or someone to kind of help you, you can get lost in the sauce. And now you don't know what's righteous, what's moral, what's immoral, what's ethical, how to treat people, because along those roads, you come across certain people who might know something more than you. So you learn, but they're not even really who you're supposed to be learning from, because I myself have went through that journey through self-identification. Where you kind of, you're searching, right? And so you get this person and you listen, and basically it's like eat the meat, spit out the bones, eat the meat, spit out the bones everywhere you go.
Yeah, I mean,
go ahead.
Oh no, yeah. So basically, how I see it, like, listen, a lot of people, and this, I'm glad you brought that up, because a lot of people have this complex in their mind where they're thinking like, oh, you know what I'm saying, oh, I know more than you, you know what I'm saying, so I got like a lot of, especially with melanated people, a lot of them, get this complex in their mind where they're thinking that they know more than somebody else, so they're the master of that person or this, that, and the third. First off, people got to take several seats back and go sit down somewhere real quick, because at one point in time you were being spoon fed from your mom or your pops or whoever the case may be. You didn't know shit, right? So first we have to keep that level playing field. Listen, you got to where you're at right now because of your discipline, your diligency, and whatever road you took to sit down, buckle down, and research some information and knowledge to get to where you're at. I don't know everything. As much as I may know right now, I know there's people out there that know more about things than I don't know. I know mechanics that know about cars I don't know about. So we have to get into a space where we are objectifying truth and we're getting out of the ego, because the ego will make it seem as if you cannot learn from other people. And I actually, at a young age, I was able to, get some of these lessons, I'm saying, at a young age, because one of my best friends as I was younger, one of my best friends, his dad was a Freemason. So he knew all kinds of information and he was teaching me, and, I'm saying, his sons didn't really listen too much, but I feel like I was listening more when I was getting some information. It was good. You know what I'm saying? And his sons were like super soldiers, but nevertheless, you know what I'm saying, there was a lot of information that rubbed off on me, you know what I'm saying, and his kids, where we were being taught certain information about things that were not taught in school. So when you are able to become a student to life, knowing I can learn from a bee, I can learn from an ant, I can learn from, the water, I can learn from nature, I can learn from any and everything. That's when you truly are able to become powerful and tap into that power within you. But if you're seeking power, you're seeking to be this and that and the third, you will quickly find out, and universe will quickly show you yourself in ways that you didn't think that you could, you know what I'm saying? You think you're going to oppress people, but now you're going to be oppressed. Or you think you're going to do this, but now this is going to happen to you. The very opposite of what you're trying to seek in when your intentions are not pure. Oh yes, you will get the exact opposite of that to show you. So when it comes to people searching for information and looking for guidance and trying to figure out this, that, and the third, yes, you will come across many of people, just like you have people in your family that just ain't all the way there, ain't all the way right. But guess what? They're in your family. You know what I'm saying? You learn that, hey, you might get some bad advice from a person in your family. Doesn't make them a bad person. It just means that that's just where they're at. And they clearly didn't know what they were talking about. And you had to find out, F around and find out the hard way.
Well, and their level of expertise might not go as far as your knowledge, you looking for that knowledge. Their expertise might not go that far. Right. So they're just giving advice on their what they've gone through, what they know. You said something, Kanoom. I love this though. You said, as far as seeking out towards others. Hold on. What is that? Oh, thank you. Mello, get out. Sorry. Getting snacks delivered, y'all. I'm sorry. No, what you said, as far as, realizing that the bees and everything else is involved. Every little minuscule part of this universe is involved into making you a better person at the end of the day, or a better soul, or all of those things. If you don't go searching for those things, you're going to be left at a very, sorry, my words aren't coming to me, at a very sacrificial, or what do they like to say when you are surface level?
Like I said,
if you don't go right, if you don't go deeper, you're not going to gain knowledge. Just end of the day. But how can we say that when men? Because you said they don't go seek power, right? But aren't men kind of built that way? Isn't it, quote unquote, in their DNA to be alphas, or to have that assertiveness, and maybe that, we have another guest. Let's bring up Sinister.
Maybe like bravado, like like
right.
Okay. Well,
don't men have? Isn't that built into the men DNA to be the alpha of some sort? So,
right.
How do they learn to submit to a bee? How do you go from an all-powerful human in 2024, and I can use my iPhone, and I can and you have to submit to a bee? That's very hard for some men to understand.
Well, I love that you said that, because a lot of people, hey, shouts out to Sinister in the building.
Hey, what's going on? Good to see you again, brother.
Hey, good to see you. So no, a lot of people, that's funny you said that. A lot of people, and this is great, because we have to understand, and we have to identify with objectivity, what is alpha? You know what I'm saying? These terms that we use in today's society, we have to, first and foremost, we have to quickly reverse and think about, where are these concepts and these ideas coming from? Even the words that I'm speaking right now that are coming out my mouth have nothing to do with my origins in my culture, as far as where I come from. So there's a level of where we have to have an acceptance, and a level of, or just like as GodMomma was talking about, how Christianity was introduced to us in slavery times. You know what I'm saying? There are certain things and concepts and ideologies that were introduced to us in certain times that actually have little to nothing to do with our culture. And I would say, for someone to find out how to, well, I wouldn't even say necessarily submitting, I would just say to respect. When you learn how to respect the bee, you'll learn how to respect the bee when you go and you mess around with a beehive and it sting your ass. You know what I'm saying? Everyone been stung by a bee at least once. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, listen, you're going to F around and you're going to find out what it's like if you're messing around with something, you don't know what you're doing. That's why you have all these white people coming up, you know what I'm saying? They be going in the forest and they be getting, you know what I'm saying? They be getting stung, or they be getting bitten. All kinds of crazy things be happening to them, because they be trampling through the forest and not respecting boundaries. And guess what? There's certain animals that just ain't messing with that. They say, if you get too close, I'm gonna sting your ass, or I'm gonna bite you, or I'm gonna eat you, or whatever the case may be, because you have many different species of animals in nature. So when it comes to the clarification, when it comes to that alpha, bravado, a lot of that stuff is first and foremost being programmed and coming from a people, or a person of a people that have an inferiority complex. If I'm about that and I know who I am, I ain't gotta be all reviled. I ain't gotta flex and floss it all out. Like people that got millions and billions of dollars, they ain't gotta wear a $1 million chain to be able to represent that I got $1 million. That is coming from a concept and a mind state that's actually poisonous to the very essence of what a man is supposed to be, or masculinity is. That's not the definition of that. That's what we chose to define these things as. And now we're looking for these things in our men, when these definitions of what we're given for what we're looking for in our men is not lining up to how we truly supposed to be. So we actually acting. We con artists. This is what we do. We acting about something that's not real. You know what I'm saying? It's an illusion.
Okay. Not con artist. I'm with it though. I'm with it because that's what sparked my wanting to have this conversation is because men have chosen to take over religion or said God to manipulate it to their needs or their desires.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree. Shree said in the chat though, she said no one should submit. Surrender is key.
Yeah, surrender, respect, yeah, submitted. Yeah, submission is like, I say submission to me is like yeah, terminology wise, you know what I'm saying? If we're talking about submit in the sense of like, oh, this person is like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I gotta, you know what I'm saying? No, we don't do none of that shit. You feel what I'm saying? Like that, you could try, but you're gonna quickly find out, and then the person could be like, oh, you ain't really, you know what I'm saying? You don't really appreciate me. You don't really love me. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be mad at you because you can't fake it. You can't fake the funk. You can do that for only so long. And then guess what? They're gonna find out what happens all the time in relationships. And men be like, oh, you don't respect me. You don't you know what I'm saying? Like, submit to me, like, woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit, she fake. She's trying to do what she's trying to do. But at the end of the day, you can't go against what nature is. You feel as if you can't go against your own nature. Even if you try, you're going to fail several times. You feel it?
T, catch that. That's T right there. And I think, well, I don't want to dive too deep into that. But when it comes to men who, quote unquote, follow religion or God and they use it for their own gain, a woman is only going to follow for so long because she's seeing through that facade. Absolutely. So men want women to submit, but is a man submitting as well?
Right. And it's really respect. Yeah, y'all got to respect each other. If you don't have the respect in the household, then there's no household. Feel me?
Go ahead, Salt. How are you doing, Captain? What is your thoughts on men needing religion or God to be good men?
I don't necessarily believe anybody needs God to be a good person. I believe that it helps them to be a better person, but do they need it? No. I believe that not everybody's necessary. I don't really believe in morality, period. Honestly, I don't really believe that people have morals. These are just something they like to hold on to seem as though they're, I guess you could call it a good person until it's time to throw the shit out the window. It's like, you may not believe in murder until someone hurts one of your children. Then murder doesn't seem like a bad idea. That morality gets thrown out the window pretty damn quick because, well, it's a pretty good solution for someone who just hurt your child. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like I said, I don't believe people need God in order to be good people, but I do feel like it helps them down the line. It helps to intensify whatever goodness they may or may not have in them. It's like everybody reaches a fork in the road, or what they call I guess like a moral conundrum at some point, and they don't know which path to take. They don't know what to do in certain situations. So many people, like I said, you don't need religion, but it does help. Many people will refer to the Bible. Where do you think the saying, what would Jesus do comes from? Right. You don't know what to do in a situation. What would Jesus do? Jesus would do this. I'm going to go ahead and do what Jesus would do in this situation. You know what I'm saying? And then there's just some people like me who will just flip a coin. Let's see what turns up. So yeah, it varies per person, but overall, no, I don't believe anybody needs religion to be a good person, but it does help.
Okay.
Most definitely.
Is it the fear of something, of the consequences of not being a good person? Maybe that's more, I guess, prevalent, or maybe not so much of God himself, but the fear of, well, if there is a God, then I'll go to hell forever and eternity. If we do reincarnate, I may get reincarnated back into some mess I don't want to get back into. So is it kind of like that fear of the unknown? But it's interesting to me that Salt says he doesn't believe that we have morality. That was a little interesting to me. It hit me a little bit in my stomach because I would like to think that I have morality. Now, if someone attacks one of mine, yes, in that scenario, absolutely. But if it was a kid that attacked another kid, or a kid attacked my kid, I I don't think I could do anything to that kid. I would take that kid to the authorities, to do the proper things. But but again, it's subjective.
Can I speak on that? Is it your morality kicking in, or is it your logic? You see a kid attack another kid, you attack that kid who attacked that kid, you're gonna go to jail. Is it morality or just simple logic kicking in? Because you're gonna go, no, you're gonna go to jail.
Right. Oh yeah, you're going to jail. Yeah.
And just to add to it, you know what I'm saying, definition wise, as far as what the modern day definition is, not going into etymology of the word, but the modern day definition says that principles concerning, and this is morality, right? Principles concerning the distinction between right and wrong, or good and bad. Now, if we're talking about morality, right?
Let's go, Canoe. Let's go, baby.
You can morally be in the right if you have to. There's a time and a place for everything. There is a time and a place and a space for where if you have to defend you and your loved ones, it's not you acting out of your morality. If you have to defend yourself in an instance to where your family's being attacked, and now it calls forth for you to bring that sort of energy. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a time and a place where, just like a lion and a gazelle, great example. If we're talking about good and bad, you know what I'm saying? Like it's really subjective to the situation and the person or the beings that dealing with that situation. To the lion, the gazelle is a food source. Like, nigga, I need to eat. This is what I eat. This is my diet. This is what I do. To the gazelle, the lion's a damn demon, because it's like, damn, why are you trying to eat me? And it's running as fast as it can.
No, we are not doing the gazelle and lion again. I can't.
It's good. I love it because it puts a stamp on.
Canoe, Salt has brought this up to me and GodMomma, the gazelle and lion. So go ahead. You had no idea that Salt had brought this up to us. So this is just funny that you brought this up all on your own.
It's good. It's good because it gives a concept of what good and bad is. See, I deal with the ancient Egyptian order. That's what I deal with. I deal with, my art. I deal with certain things of that nature. Like I said, when you get back to culture, you know what I'm saying, there is a certain guidelines that you can live by, you know what I'm saying, where you self-identify as a deity within your own right to be able to, make judgment of what you're doing. That's what, my art was, given for, certain 42 laws to give balancement to the nature of man and woman, not just man and woman, because we're not going to get it twisted and act like man are the problem and there ain't nothing going on with no woman.
Oh, no, honey. No, baby. No, baby. Women are next. Women are next. Okay, my sisters, we next. We just wanted to start the temperature with the men first and see what y'all was doing.
Gotta check the room real quick. But nah, for real, I feel you, and I agree. Like, yo, listen, there has to be there should, I'll say it should be. It don't have to be. You can do what you want, but you're gonna F around and find out whatever you do. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a cause and effect for everything. But yes, when it comes to morale, you can be morally right if you're defending a certain situation that calls forth for you to pull that iron out, and you got to do what you got to do. If that was the case, like I said, you'll be judged the judgment of that situation. That's why we have to use right, sound reasoning. We have to have right, sound reasoning when we're utilizing our mind to make discernment of what we're doing and evaluate the situation. You have to have emotional intelligence. There's a lot of people out here with guns, and not to use the word guns, but a lot of people out here with heaters, and they pulling them out off emotional situations, and they ain't judging or they ain't using right sound reasoning to be able to make a discernment of whether or not they should be utilizing that in that moment. You stepped on my Nikes, pow. You know what I'm saying? Like, is that really how it's going to be? Or are we not, you know what I'm saying, morally judging the circumstance to be able to see whether or not it really calls for that type of energy? That's why I say you have to have emotional intelligence. If you don't have emotional intelligence, then you always going to make, you know what I'm saying, decisions that are not in the morally right.
Facts.
Because I don't think for a man to be considered a good man, I don't think he has to have God or religion. I think he just has to have his own.
Sorry, G5 just entered the chat. Sorry.
Yeah, I seen her. Our moralities, our purposes, they must align, right? You gotta view things the same, not the same way, but the same way in a sense of morality. Just a respectable person. That's what I wanted to get to, was not so just respect, because that's what most people are looking for, is just for someone to respect them, and the people around them. So I don't feel like, to be considered a good man, you have to have religion. And because when I looked up atheism and agnostics last night, it actually says that based on certain religious text, an atheist or an agnostic is actually more morally correct.
Right.
Because they don't do the,
I'm using
stoning and rape. They don't use all of those things and say, well,
they're
as
not
long as
using religion as their crutch for their manipulation and abuse. Correct.
Yes.
Yep.
That's an interesting word to use, a crutch.
Well, to me, so I feel as though, and sorry guys, I have to pause the show. G5, you might have to check your what are those called? Your request. Yeah, your hidden messages. You might have to check, but G5, please check your IG so you can get up to date with what we're doing. But no, I do feel that some people, I mean, I know we're on the men topic, use religion as their crutch. Well, God said this, and spare the rod, spoil the child, or, your wife should be a certain type of way, or they use that as a crutch for not being even, okay, I'll say it like this. There are some men who are persuaded into doing things they wouldn't do based on the religion that they follow. There are some men who want to follow God, but don't want to follow all of the code of ethics that come with religion. If that makes sense. So they'll use religion as a crutch for, I don't really want to do this, but this is what the testimony says I need to do. As a Muslim, you don't want to stone your own daughter, but because this is religion and this is what I follow, I need to do that.
Can I give another example?
Go ahead.
Yeah, this is something I heard a man say. I don't know if y'all are cool with him, so I won't say his name. However, I did hear a man once say, and I completely agree with it, because I've gone through that before with, just older family members and whatnot. People will use the Bible. They will use their religion. They will use the Bible as a sword to attack you and then a shield to protect themselves.
Yes.
So it's like you're speaking. It's like I saw this video of this this lady pastor. She was preaching the Bible and everything. Then she ended up having unprotected sex with someone who was not her husband. She ended up getting pregnant. But the Bible speaks against that. So when she's speaking to her congregation the next time and she's like 5-6 months pregnant, she's saying, you guys better not judge me, or guess what? God's going to be angry at you. And I'm just like, wow. So you go against what the Bible said, and now you're using it to defend yourself. You're attacking them with it while using it to simultaneously defend yourself. And I always thought that was very interesting. So yeah, either a sword, shield, or a crutch to justify whatever, I guess you could call it, immoral act that they're about to commit or have committed.
Yep. Yes. And that's where I'm cautious when I dive into these religious sectors of human nature. So Kylie says right here, she says, God is a spirit, not a religion. And I agree. I agree. Completely. Yeah. Completely. And just side note to everybody coming in, everybody hitting the like, thank you. I did remove mod sticks because we're rebranding. We are rebranding. So shout out to those who are mods, and shout out to those who are here even not having your mod stick. Just it's no hard feelings. We are selling mod sticks, so if you do want a mod stick, if you feel like you need to be a moderator, $50. You can hit GodMomma's Cash App, or you can hit my Cash App, $50 if you feel that you need a mod stick.
Or just hit my Cash App.
You didn't give us your Cash App.
So. Give us.
No, I'm just messing with you.
So, let me jump back into that though. I really love the thought of you don't have to follow a religion to be morally good. What are the benefits of being morally good and not following God? What are those benefits?
Wait, ask that again?
What are the benefits of being morally good, quote unquote, morally good, and not having that backed by a God-fearing religion? What's the difference between a godly man and just a morally correct man?
I would say the difference between having it and not having it, well, if you have it, your chances are significantly higher, exponentially higher, to not go to jail and not be alone.
Say that last part again.
To not go to jail and not be alone. Because if you're an immoral person, okay, say you're an immoral person, you're going around doing whatever, harming whoever, stealing from whoever, doing whatever. You're going to be alone. Nobody's going to want to be around you if you're doing all these quote unquote immoral things. But if you are moral and you're not doing these things, people are more likely to, as the kids say, fuck with you. Yeah. And you won't go to prison. I mean, yeah.
So let me ask this, because this is what I'm hearing a lot of. It's the fear of punishment for not being moral.
Right.
I don't think so.
I mean, if we don't go out here and be immoral because we don't want to go to jail, that's kind of like the fear of not wanting to be incarcerated. Not necessarily like shaking in our boots scared, won't go outside scared, but it kind of keep in the back in your subconscious. It's like it's keeping you in control in some type of way.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say it's a fear of punishment, because look at how many people are in prison right now who really did not give a damn, especially in California. I think it's more so like looking at the long, because this is the way I view it, and I think many other men view it as this way also, especially due to the high prison population. Morality, in a way, it's just you're limiting yourself. You are limiting yourself by having a certain set of morals. It's like, how can I describe this? Okay, before there was Christianity, they worshipped Zeus. They worshipped the god of thunder, god of fire, god of whatnot. Many occurrences, whenever there are thunderstorms happening, for most part, people back then were a lot dumber. They were a lot more gullible. You see a thunderstorm happening, oh, that's the god Zeus throwing thunder. In their minds, that's proof that our God exists. Oh, do you worship Apollo or whoever the god of fire was? Oh, look, all these houses got set on fire. He must have been angry with that village. There's proof of that God. You rarely hear people talking about miracles these days anymore. And so it's not that people don't believe in God. It's just more of the population are half and half on it. I haven't seen God. God has never spoken to me. I haven't seen any instances of God. Where was God when my uncle got shot? Where was God when my mom got cancer? Why do I got to live this peaceful life, and I'm growing up in the ghetto, and all I got to do is steal a couple of car radios or whatever it is people steal these days, and then my life gets a little bit better? It's immoral to do it, but guess what? I need to survive, and God doesn't appear to be helping. Even though I've been going to church every Sunday since I was 7, and I'm now 23. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like most people just feel like it's not the fear of consequences. It's them limiting themselves. Because if I'm willing, it's like, okay, say World War III happens. People are going around raiding other people's homes and whatnot. Because I say, if you're going to follow something, follow it all the way. Follow all the rules. In the Bible, it says it's wrong to kill. It's wrong to kill. It doesn't specify it's wrong to kill unless they didn't touch a bunch of kids. Unless their name is John Wayne Gacy. So it's like, okay, World War III happens. People are raiding homes. I'm killing whoever comes into this house. Whether it's morally wrong or not, that morals, the morals get thrown out the window. Especially if you're growing up in like a war zone like Detroit or somewhere like that, or downtown Los Angeles, to where it's like, okay, to have these morals can get you killed. You are in a constant state of fight or flight, and that's going to affect you. That's going to cause a permanent loss of a particular amount of empathy. You have to suspend it in order to survive. It's like, hey, I'm dead, but guess what? I follow God's rules. That doesn't seem fair, especially to a child, especially to these young men and women out here. You know what I'm saying? So that's my thoughts on it.
I would say, and can you ask the question one more time, GodMomma, so I get a clarity, or whoever, yeah.
It was GodMomma.
Okay.
Chad, what was the question?
No, we were asking the difference between well, I guess it was me that asked
It
the
was you,
difference.
An
yeah,
atheist and a
godly.
God-fearing man. If you're a
Yeah,
God-fearing man, what's the
I
difference
guess
between
it
a
was
man
me.
who,
Yes.
yeah,
that's
who's
why I was like,
morally sound but
Okay.
worships God, and then who doesn't?
Right, God fear man. Okay. Well, first and foremost, the number one thing that we have to understand is that there's not a one size fits all to when it comes to even religious aspects and how people interpret things. If we're talking about the Greek mythology of Zeus and stuff of that nature. We know that actually comes from ancient Kemet. It comes from the Egyptian deities back in those times. A lot of stuff that we're utilizing as a point of reference to be able to formulate our own thoughts and opinions on, to be able to make standpoints, is coming from more of like a Eurocentric mindset, which is fine when we're dealing with, if they're dealing with their own doctrine. But if we're melanated people and we're looking for a point of origin to be able to base off of our, and this is where it ties into what I'm saying, there's not, everybody is not a one size fits all. When you're looking at Buddhists and Buddhist monks and people, how they do things, they have a whole different way of life and a whole different way of how they deal with certain things. Even the circumstances that they go through and the things that they have in their own environment is different than what it is here in America. What's happening in LA and what's happening in Chicago and Detroit is not the same things that is happening in some of the other worlds. Granted, you can, no matter where you are in the world, face a situation to where you may have to defend yourself with a weapon of some case, or you might have to use them hands. So there may, no matter where you are in the world, there is definitely circumstances where you may have to encounter those kind of things. But then again, it comes back to a point of origin and what your interpretation is. If we're talking about God, well, what's your interpretation of God? Because not everyone looks for a God in the sky. Some people see God in themselves when they look in the mirror. So if we're dealing with certain people, especially with different tribes that exist on this planet, that never looked to the skies to see God, they understood that they are in the essence of God, that the God is within, the God is them, and they were able to look at themselves as that and then move accordingly. And they had a certain set of rules or principles or even cultural guidelines in order for them to move. You know what I'm saying? And some of the oldest cultures in the world, ancient civilizations in the world, actually had these ideologies and these perspectives as well. So if we're talking about the modern day interpretation of God, then that's going to generate a different kind of perception and even a different kind of behavior and how people are going to interact and how they're going to move, versus how we would look at it if we're looking at points of origin, if we're looking at into the past, or which is past is the future in a sense. So it really comes down to identifying, what you personally identify with, and then how that's going to, how that identification, self-identification, and what you choose to not follow, but what you choose to adopt or what you choose to accept and put into practice in your own life, how that's going to mesh with the world. What you may choose to adopt as far as what you are going to practice in your personal life may be at disharmony, or it may be not coinciding with today's society and the world. So you would have to then formulate environments, and you have to formulate specific things for yourself in order for how you want to live to manifest. And it's not to say that, oh, just because he a Christian that you can't get it popping. that's not the case. There's plenty of Christians I know that, hey, listen, if it comes down to it, what I'm saying, my hand is going to be God today. What I'm saying? Like, I will show you where I'm at. I'm going to stand on my business. You feel me? So like I said, it really just comes down to, there's basic fundamentals as men that we have to have when it comes to protection, providing and protecting, and to make sure that we're utilizing not a primitive mind, but an intellectual mind, and a mind that has right sound reasoning, a mind that is able to be emotionally intelligent, to be able to make certain decisions, so we're not just out here popping one off. You know what I'm saying? Morale to me is how you conduct yourself, what I'm saying, and your intelligence in which you conduct yourself. An immoral person, or someone that has no moral construct. And when we're using moral construct, I'm just talking about principles as far as what quote unquote good and bad is, with the definition of the word in today's society. If you look it up, you see the definition. It just comes down to that, because if you have no morals, that means you could do whatever you want and it don't matter. I can go kill this person. Right. I can, what I'm saying, do this to that kid and it don't matter. You want to know why it don't matter? Because I ain't got no morals. You know what I'm saying? So right. If we're doing that and playing those games, then what it's going to do is it's going to create a plethora of different results from cause and effect, from people just adopting the idea that there is no such thing as morale and I can do whatever I want and there's no justice for it.
I agree.
But see, that's my kind of thing with the textbook Christianity is I can do what I want, and as long as I tell God or Jesus that I'm sorry, that it's going to be forgiven. That's the hang up that I have, because when
Catholicism runs with that too.
Right. When saying you're a good man, huh?
Because you said as you could do whatever you want and then you apologize for it. They always say God knows what's in your heart. I think it only counts if you mean it. Like if you're just saying it just because, then I think that don't quote me on that. I mean, y'all could always look it up, but I think that. My bad. Continue.
No, you good. So basically, you have to. But who's using that though? Not very many godly men, men of God, that fear men that fear God. A lot of it is I do what I want and ask for forgiveness later. That's what a lot of it is. To me, what I've realized is a lot of men who are seeking that that self journey with God, not necessarily the religion. Not seeking the religious journey, but the spiritual God journey. Those are the type of men that tend to more, quote unquote, stand on their business. They tend to have a more respectable, ethical, moral stance on a lot of different things. So
Absolutely.
that's why I would like having different people's opinion as well, because it gives a well-rounded idea of really what are we saying a good man is.
Right.
Because
there's a difference between a good man, a godly man. To me, there's a difference between a good man, a godly man, and a righteous man. To me, those are three different areas of men. A good man, a godly man, and a righteous man.
So you can be godly but not good?
Yes, to me.
How so?
Well, I just read, I don't want to trigger anybody, so trigger warning. I just read that the Hebrews, the Zionists, the Jewish community excuses rape of a child under the age of 3 because her hymen can regrow. That's a godly man.
Damn, that fucked me up.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I can see the difference. Yeah.
I'm just trying to make sure I understood, because
I will repeat it.
Okay,
in the Hebrew and the Jewish belief, you can be with a child that is under 3 years old. A man can be with a female child that is under 3 years old. They say it's like poking a finger in somebody's eye. It does nothing. It causes a tear and the eye is fine. They say
I've been trying to control myself, trying to be professional about this, but at a certain point, I'm just really getting pissed. Just excuse me.
There is. Sorry, you guys. We added some stuff, and GodMomma, she's trigger happy. So, but there is a segment in the Hebrew little Bible or whatever they choose. I just looked it up last night. I can pull up the links. They said that it's okay. They excuse a man being with a child under 3 because she can regrow her hymen. That is a godly religion. So no, I don't think that all godly men are good.
Based off the definition of what modern day terminology is for God, yeah. Because God can be, that's why I loosely people use God. It's so, I don't really use God, but people use that, you know what I'm saying, so much. And it's like, it is tied to these things. And that's why I completely understand what you're saying. And yeah, that right there, and that's where we go, right? Where it comes down to, and this is another example I give you. If think about it, for all them, because we just shared about what happened in Florida, right? Say if an extraterrestrial comes down, you know what I'm saying, from outer space, from a different planet, and they come down here, are we expecting them aliens, you know what I'm saying, to act as, you know what I'm saying, humans? I mean, what are the things that so this just comes down to understand for us to get like there's things that could be happening, then there's things that are happening in other countries that are accepted that over here in America you would be killed for, like instantly, and then vice versa. So it's like, yo, I don't agree with that at all. But what I'm saying is, like, what you're saying is that, hey, there's certain beings that actually are accepting of that, and they practice that in their daily culture. And that's why I always recommend people to travel. I always recommend people to get out there in the world and see what's going on. Because if you are trying to judge the world off your limited, perspectives of, I grew up in New York and I grew up in Baton Rouge, I grew up here, I grew up there, and you just trying to look at the perspective of the world versus those lenses, you got to get a new set of goggles, because you're gonna be shocked, you're gonna be amazed, you're gonna be bamboozled, you're gonna all kinds of things gonna happen to you because you are not aware of what's really taking place and what's going on in this world and stuff like that. What she just said, that's what's going on. That's wild. Yeah.
One thing that has always bothered me that a lot of people will do, and this applies to everybody on this planet, as far as any religion or belief system or what you think is morally sound or whatever culture you come from, whatever your background is, people have a tendency to become offended over certain things. And it's like, I always try to tell people, nobody on this planet owes you understanding. Nobody owes you understanding. If they don't understand, so be it, because they don't owe you that. Because a child who is grown up hungry is never going to view the world. Well, maybe not view the world, but they're not going to view the world the same way a child who is grown up with a full stomach does.
Come on.
They never are. Like, I was grown up with a ton of privilege. Only reason I know anything about like dudes in the streets and all that is because I got hood ass cousins who I also grew up with, and I would be at their houses every summer, almost every weekend. It was like, okay, this is what hood shit is like. Okay, this is cool for a weekend, but nah, I ain't trying to live in this. So yeah, it's nobody owes anybody understanding. And I'm definitely not even gonna try to understand that shit Lurker that stuff Lurker just said, because that was crazy. Yeah. Wait, religion or not? Okay, it's part of your religion. That's sick. That is sick.
Understood.
When people follow their religion to a T like that, it's I have an uncle. He's in his 60s. We haven't spoken in almost 15 years, and last time we spoke, I had found out something about the Bible, because he was one of those people that I spoke about earlier who used the Bible as a sword to harm you and then as a shield to defend themselves. When I was younger, I found out that during the first Christian crusade, a third of the Bible was destroyed. He said something very disrespectful to me, and this caused me to tell him that. I said, the religion because he considers himself like the most religious person on this planet. I said, what you believe in is incomplete. That's all I said. Didn't cuss him out or nothing. I said, what you believe in is incomplete. You don't even have the full word of the Bible. We haven't spoken to each other since, and I'm fine with that. Because it's like, when you follow stuff to a T like that, to where it's like you're justifying wrong things that you're doing and saying, like that shit with the three, like, all right, I'm not gonna harp on that, but that what Lurker just said, like, that's extreme. That's very extreme and very sick. So yeah, man, nobody owes anybody understanding. If somebody decides that they don't want to understand what it was she just said, they don't want to try to get into the, you know what I'm saying, the ins and outs of that, like, well, how do y'all go about that? You are absolutely fine not to understand that, because believe it or not, hey, just because it's a religion doesn't mean things in it can't be wrong or can't be just downright sick.
Absolutely. Because there's things that's in the Bible that a godly man is supposed to do, but in my eyes, it's kind of, I don't know, because the Bible in certain aspects will say one thing, but then 2 books later say another thing.
Yep.
So, it's kind of hard to follow, because in one aspect, it's okay for, the husband to see the wife beneath him, but 2 books over, God is saying, no, you need to look at your wife as your equal, and that she's only going to respect and submit to you if you are respecting and submitting to her. And that's where I don't hear a lot of godly men talk about. They talk about the aspect of a woman needs to be quiet. A woman needs to sit down and be submissive. A woman needs to stand behind or underneath a man, but they never speak on the scriptures that God is saying, you know, your wife is equal to you. There is no separation between the two. There is no one superior. There's no one inferior. You are equal to each other. You respect and submit to each other, not one submitting and one not. So that's why it's hard for me sometimes to get with godly men. I like godlike men, you know. But I do want to do this real quick because we had a donation come through. Okay. So I want to do this real quick.
Give a damn about a hater when I feel like it. Not today, not today, not today, not tomorrow. Get out my way, please. I'm trying to get paid. Not today, not today, not today.
Oh, we did have a donation come through.
Shout out to you. Thank you very much.
We did. Thank you. Salute, salute. That just goes back into our channel. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to do the damn thing. What's up? And also real quick before we do head back into this topic, please hit the up like. We've got something for that. Thank you. Sorry, we're still NABs over here. But please hit that up like.
Please hit the like. Thank you.
No, you did use that voice.
Thank you.
I know whose voice that was. Don't look at me like, oh, you talking? No, I know whose
we
voice.
Love us some. Okay, don't. We love us some her. Okay.
No, me too. I ain't tripping. I'm just like, really? Okay.
We got a lot of good sound bites.
We got a lot of good sound bites coming.
I mean, we'll add to them, Salt, if you want to give us one.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, feel free to use my voice anytime.
And well. So back to this conversation, I want to switch gears just a little bit. I want to switch gears because we are heavy on the Christianity. I researched for this live stream. I researched Hinduism, Buddhism. I don't have my notebook right here, but I'll grab it here in a sec. I'm not sure where I put it. I want to switch gears because Buddhism in particular does not really correlate to an atmospheric God. It really relies on internal and the choices you make inside of you. So when we're dealing with samurais, monks, men who choose to be eunuchs, not forced eunuchs, but men who choose to sacrifice their loins to give them to the greater being or hit nirvana. How do we feel about that? How do y'all feel about meditating, Kanum and Salt? How do y'all feel about meditating versus prayer?
The betterment of oneself, I'm for that with anybody. And as far as the sacrificing of one's loins, I'll just, how do I describe it? So, okay, me personally, I don't have a military family. Well, I have some people in my family who are in the military, but most of them are gang members. I don't agree with the lifestyle. However, there are many dudes out there who have dedicated their lives to that, to making their name, to being an OG, to doing this. I don't agree with the lifestyle. I don't agree with the sacrificing of the loins. However, what I admire almost above all else is dedication. For you to do that to yourself as a man, to sacrifice your loins, I hold you in the highest respect as far as dedication goes. I respect the hell out of dedication. You dedicated yourself to the betterment of yourself. Huh?
Is it dedication or discipline?
It's both. You have to have the discipline to be able to follow through with it, and the dedication to. To me, that's an extreme level. I admire that level of dedication. It's like there are people who have chopped off their own limbs as far as religion goes, as far as getting something accomplished. Dedication is, you should always respect dedication, even if you don't agree with whatever it is that person is dedicating themselves to have that level of dedication, to go out there and quote unquote put in work, and now you're spending the rest of your life in prison all for the sake of the gang. I admire the dedication. What you did was stupid. That lifestyle is stupid, but you dedicated yourself to it. Like people who dedicate themselves to the military. It's like you're going to be following orders the rest of your life, but you believe in this so much, you're willing to do it. You're willing to dedicate yourself to that. I respect that, and I respect you in that sense.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Well, can you repeat that question again? My bad.
Yes. What do you consider the difference between meditation and prayer?
Oh yeah. Okay. So meditation is the art of listening, and prayer is the art of speaking. So when you're praying, and this is just what I've come from the ancient Egyptian order. So as Nuwapian or Sabian, we deal with a specific a way of practicing spiritual practices when it comes to rituals, when it comes to actual practices or implementation of a lot of these cultural aspects. There's a certain way that our ancestors actually practice, and it varied from different races, but just to specify on what we're talking about when it comes to meditation helps with concentration, but it also helps with listening. If you are in a specific state of mind and you're able to actually tap in, like when you click onto a channel, and you can actually click onto a channel, you can actually listen to your ancestors speak. You can actually listen and you can get feedback, from beings, deities, whatever you want to call them, that, not only exist in inside of you, but the ones that you're genetically linked to that may not necessarily be inside of you. So from my understanding and my perspective, when it comes to meditation, it's the art of listening. When you chant, it's like dialing a phone number. When people talk about, connecting to their ancestors and be like, oh yeah, I want to make connection with my ancestors, but I don't know how, right? Well, however there's a practice on how you do that. Like I said, it varies for every different culture, but in the way in which you do that spiritual practice in order for you to make connection with your ancestors, that is like dialing a phone number where I'm trying to get a hold of Lurker. Hey, I'm trying to get a hold of Lurker, but she's not picking up. Some Chinese dude picked up, and I'm trying to call Lurker, and I'm not making the connections because I'm dialing the wrong phone number. So the practice in which the spiritual practice and ritual which you do is going to make a link and a connection to specific beings. Like when in the Bible, they mention all the time where you say a certain name and then a spirit force might come forth. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We know that names hold memory, and they're connected to specific entities, specific beings. The reason why they call Satan Satan, and the reason why they call God God is because there's a distinguishing factor between Satan and God, which is a name for the being. You know what I'm saying? So when we're talking about names, names hold power. What you call yourself, it holds power. Some people would say, well, it's your intent behind what you're saying. It's not necessarily what you're saying. Well, that's only half right. And if it's half right, then it ain't all right. You know what I'm saying? So we have to understand that, there is a specific way in which we can definitely communicate and to get through, to make connection. But I mean, just to simply put it, that's how I look at it. When you pray, you're calling, you're speaking, you're making a call, you're putting energy out. And that energy, you're going to tap into something and it will come back to you. You will get a signal come back to you if, you tune in. Normally when people pray, you follow it up in meditation, because that way you're listening. You put out, let me listen.
I think we should follow up prayer with meditation. Mm-hmm. I don't think a lot of people do, but I like that. I love that. I never use that terminology. Or prayer is a phone call, is outgoing. Meditation is incoming. But that was perfect. That was perfect.
Absolute.
Well, meditation isn't really taught in a lot of American or Western religions. Meditation isn't really a thing. Growing up in a Southern Baptist church, I didn't know nothing about meditation. That's called prayer. That's called praying until your knees are bloody. Mm-hmm. So for me personally, I feel like prayer and meditation kind of coexist together. Mm-hmm. Because most times before I meditate, I pray, and after I meditate, I pray. But when I say pray, it's more of a conversation. It's more of trying to gain an understanding. It's more of because whenever my friends or my family, I don't pray for them. I speak wellness and wholeness, or whatever they're perceivably going through. I speak the opposite over them. I don't pray over them. If that, because once I learned words, etymology,
Right.
I've tried ever since to kind of choose my words wisely, because like Kanoon was saying, yes, you may have a different intent behind the word, but sometimes that word still rings a certain way.
Correct.
I think, meditating.
Right, because there's P-R-A-Y, then there's P-R-E-Y.
Right. And that's why we say chant. I like to say chant. I use prayer just for the sake of, y'all saying a question about prayer, but chanting is what I use. Yeah, I use the word chant.
And see, I pray. I am a Christ believer, a Christ conscious person. So I do pray, but it's definitely a conversation. Like GodMomma said, it's a conversation. It's because I'm quiet during prayer and I also speak during prayer. So it could be meditative. It could be both of those things. But when I choose to meditate, I like to meditate outside. I like to meditate with my doors open. When I go to meditate, it's very natural environment vibes. When I go to pray, I could do it anywhere. I could be in a public bathroom and get to praying. When I go to meditate, I need not necessarily a like we like to call our, candle areas and our sages and all of that. But I do need that for meditation. I like to set up an environment of quietness. It's a lot more mindful when I meditate. When I pray, I don't give a fuck what's going on. I don't care where I'm at. I could pray in my head. I could pray out loud. I could whoop. But when I meditate, I need that sanctimonious environment for me. For me.
Yeah.
But
I need something.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I need something that's gonna kind of like hypnotize me in a sense.
It's almost ritualistic.
And outside, if you sit long enough and listen, it will kind of hypnotize you to quote unquote go to sleep. Because if you're listening to the birds, you're listening to this, you're listening to that, you kind of
the smells, it's everything. It's your physical senses, it's your mental, your spiritual. To me, that's.
And I think we need to bring that as a conversation to add it to the list of meditation. Really diving into that, because meditation helps. It really does, and it doesn't have to be that box that you think of. It doesn't have to be that.
Do non-religious people need to meditate? Do non-religious men need to meditate?
They should. I'm not a religious man, and I've meditated before. And knowledge of oneself.
What benefits you get from that, Saul? What benefits do you get from meditating as being a non-religious person?
Knowledge of oneself, knowing why I did something, being able to see why it is my mind is going to this, why it's going to that. It's I would say it's one of the reasons why I have sought therapy for my anger issues. However, being more self-aware has helped more than the actual therapy. You know what I'm saying? To actually want to know yourself and know how you're going to react in a situation. Because it's like Kanoom said earlier. And just to add on to something that he said, what was it? It was about emotional.
Oh, you talking about emotional intelligence, being able to.
Yeah. That's what it was. Thank you. Yeah, emotional intelligence is important, and I think I spoke to you guys about this before. Emotional intelligence is important. However, it's not as important as having emotional discipline. You could be the most intelligent person in the world, but if you don't have the discipline to back up your knowledge, because plenty of people, we've seen them go off and then later on say, yeah, I knew I shouldn't have did that in that moment. It was like, oh, okay, you have the emotional intelligence to know that you shouldn't have behaved that way in that moment, but you lack the discipline, the emotional discipline to follow through with it. So knowledge of oneself is important. Meditating helps to unlock certain parts of the mind. Me personally, I recommend, because I've done it before in the past, I would recommend, and people always love to say, oh, weed is from the earth, so it's good. So are mushrooms. So are psilocybin mushrooms. I recommend those to people who have had traumatic experiences. I recommend you take those, and before you take them, you write down whatever traumatic experience you had, read through it, and work through it. If you've ever felt any type of emotion at any point in time, you take those shrooms, it's going to make you feel all the emotions. It is going to, in a way, kind of not help you relive that moment, but the feeling of that moment, so then you can actually mentally work through it. So yeah, and people have used shrooms for meditation. Meditation is good.
Ayahuasca. Yeah, there's a lot of natural remedies to, go explore your internal self.
But yeah, if you're not a religious person, you don't need to. I say you should definitely meditate, because just because you don't want to know God, you should definitely get to know yourself. But yeah, that's all.
Okay. I have one more question, and then I'll let y'all freeball it from here. But my final question is, since we don't want to use or salt for you and Kanoom, I already know your religion standpoint. What about eternal life? Have we thought about the afterworks, or are we just doing, or are the two of you that are on here, are you just motivated for your physical being on earth? What about your eternal life? Do you have any thoughts of that?
Yep.
Yeah, you could go ahead, bro.
Oh yeah. Nah, I love that question. So that comes, like I said, a lot of what I'm saying, it comes down to culture. I mean, even religion is in culture. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I always say the most important thing that a man, could submerge himself in is a culture. Well, like I said, we're living in a melting pot of many different cultures where, that's why you see a Chinatown in every, city. There's always a Chinatown. There's Chinatown up the block. People, you see the culture has rubbed off, in different areas. And that's why a lot of people are adopting mix and mastering, trading things like Pokemon cards. And people are not rooted in their own culture, which is kind of making people make a collage of whatever they want, because that's what America allows. Not saying anything's wrong with that. It's just personal opinion. But I think that, so what I would say, it all comes down to culture. You know what I'm saying? Culture is the key for anything in your reality, as far as what you're choosing to subscribe to, because culture has music, culture has religion, culture has, art. Culture has, all of the things.
What I'm saying is after you're dead.
Right. So when it comes to death, in as far as what I see it, is that we know that the eternal is the soul. So you have the spirit, you have the soul, and then you have the body. The soul is eternal. The spirit is more or less the persona or the personality. That's why they say, oh, he got a certain spirit about him. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he ain't got the spirit, or she ain't got the spirit. The spirit gives that personality, that essence of, a little twang, whatever you got going on. That's that spirit, that soul, that's eternal. That's like a diamond. You know what I'm saying? I don't even use the term diamond because that can be crushed. You know what I'm saying? But the soul is something that is eternal. You know what I'm saying? And we deal with, in the ancient Egyptian order, we deal, with the soul and the essence of the soul, because we understand that's actually who we are. So when it comes to afterlife, there are spaces and places in which you can go if, you have perfected yourself to a certain level on which you are going to make it. Some beings will reincarnate due to the fact that they didn't get certain lessons done. It's like a video game. You respawn. You don't move forward. You don't get to collect 200 to pass go, because you did not fulfill certain things that you needed to fill within your own bloodline. So guess what? Someone else is going to be reborn. Not saying that, you have kids, you're going to come back here, but I'm saying someone else will be reborn, in which you will have to come back as a reincarnation in order to get those lessons that you didn't get in order for you to go to where you're going. Or on the other hand, there's other spaces and places and dimensions where you may end up due to the things that you did do here. You might go backwards. You feel what I'm saying? Like, so when it comes to that, and I'm not, hey, listen, everyone has their own, perspective of that. I'm just sharing mine. From my point of view, my understanding, that's, the things that happen. We have to live by the soul, not way by the spirit or by the flesh. Because when you live by way of the spirit and the flesh, you can get trapped down here on planet Earth and you won't be able to go nowhere else, because your soul is not defined by your earthly, fleshly desires, spirit desires. It's not defined by that. Soul is greater than that because it's eternal. So it was be here before. It was be here before Popeyes. It's gonna be here after Popeyes. You feel what I'm saying? Like, whatever you desire here on that earth, just know that soul is something that's rock solid. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my interpretation to make it short and sweet, simple.
Okay, real quick. Oh, go ahead, Salt.
Me personally, I always thought reincarnation was a good thing. It's like, yeah, to be able to, relive life in another body, what have you. However, and I've lost friends before having this conversation because of, how I view things. Me personally, say there's a God, say there is a heaven and there is a hell. If I'm to die right here, right now, and people never talk about it, but in the Bible, there's also a third option, which is annihilation. God just simply wipes you from existence. I would rather choose hell or annihilation, and I'll tell you why. And I thought of this when I was much, much younger, and I've lost friends over it. Do you honestly think, anybody, just think about it. Do you honestly think that if you die and you go to heaven, do you think everybody you love and care about is going to go to heaven? No, they're not. Not if heaven and hell exists. Some of them are going to be in hell. There's no way I will ever be able to 100% enjoy heaven knowing that there are people that I love and care about burning in hell. So, hey, annihilate me or send me to hell. Because if I'm in hell, hey, you got sent to a dark place where the shadows move and you feel all alone. No, you're not. I'm sitting right next to you. At least I'm here with you. And then the others who didn't get sent there, hey, at least I know they're cool in heaven. Either that, and I mean, the only way you would be able to enjoy it in heaven is if God was to wipe them from your memory. And that doesn't seem like a good thing. And it's like they always say, if God is all powerful, he can't be all good. And if he's all good, he can't be all powerful. That's my take on it. You would not be able to enjoy heaven if your son murdered somebody.
That gave me a totally different perspective of you. I'll be nicer now, because you'd rather go to hell with your sinner loved ones. I get it. I love it. Bless your heart.
I'll hold my breath on that one. But okay.
Bless your heart.
Isn't it only like 144,000 that's going to get into heaven anyway? So most of us, nothing as
well, 144,000 per tribe. I don't know. That's what the Hebrew said. I don't know.
Well, I plan on getting a tattoo next year that says "Embrace the pain" anyway. So it is what it is.
Well, that's what the Buddhism. That's their religion. They said that to live is to suffer.
Mm-hmm. So. And I could see that. I could see why to live is to suffer, especially if you're in an oppressive state constantly, no matter race, color, creed, religion. If you don't have a certain status, you remain in a state of oppression in this environment. So
yeah, we're not here to attack the person. We're here to attack the idea.
And I salute to all y'all in the chat, because y'all have been participating. Y'all have been keeping it cute. I love it. I love it.
Even the trolls have been keeping it cute. I love that the troll redid their name to come back as Christ's sword or something. I love it. Hi, T Blizzy. Hi.
I love it. So I want to ask my last question.
Come on,
and it's kind of push us into the next topic that I kind of want to have with the men.
Hopefully the other men aren't shy and they will come join. We're going to have to re-edit our thumbnail because niggas just ain't doing right, but that's okay. Go ahead.
And shout out to you two for pulling up and showing the fuck out.
Yes, thank you, Kanoom and Salt. Thank you.
I wasn't doing nothing anyway. I'm just at work.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you being here.
Okay, so because a lot of us don't really we all came to kind of the conclusion that to be considered a good man, you don't necessarily have to have God or religion. It's kind of just depending upon the culture. That's what makes you a good man. I think we're gonna have to do another little
we might have to
episode 2 to this, because I think we need to get down to the root of what is a good man. What does that entail to be a good man? So from each of you, I don't want you to like deep dive, but kind of just right off the top of the dome, what would be a good man to you? What if you have sons? What would you want him to be when he growed up to be a good man, like to be considered a good man?
Well, simply put, for me, just someone that moves in right sound reasoning, that's objective, that uses both hemispheres of the brain, someone that's able to identify, you know what I'm saying, self-identify and self-identify with the world, and also just be rooted in culture, you know what I'm saying, our culture, where we come from, you know what I'm saying, who we are, and just be vast in, language, bilingual, you know what I'm saying. I want you to speak multiple languages. You know what I'm saying. I want you to have a vast understanding of the plethora of different people that are on the faces of this earth, so that you will know how to move, you know what I'm saying? Because some of the wisest and smartest and most intelligent are the ones that have a deep understanding and understanding of cultural differences and, cultural backgrounds and origins of different people's stories. That's it.
I like that response. I like that. So a good man is a well-rounded man. I like that. I like that response. What you got to say, Salty?
For me, it's a man who would rather create, build, and destroy instead of destroying just for the sake of destruction for himself and for those around him and those he loves. Someone who, like, that's pretty much it. Creates, preserves instead of destroying for those he loves, himself, and those around him. But it's simple.
I like it. I can dig it. But I'm going to come back with some
question. Is there just because I got
like
10 minutes left, y'all? I appreciate everyone. I just wanted to, is there any more questions that you guys maybe had or something of that nature? I just got to go to the grocery store.
Damn, you gotta go.
Yeah.
No, that's where we wanted to end off. We're gonna do a little bit of shenanigans, and for me, I'm done. GodMomma.
Yeah, I was about to say he was. I was kind of pissed off. I'm kind of pissed off that he had to leave because he's like the other side of the coin when it comes to my answers. But I mean, do what you got to do. Hey, life hits.
No, I respect you. I respect you, man. You've been, man. You had some good, you know what I'm saying, and that's why I love the dynamic, you know what I'm saying, of just having different people's perspective, and also showing people like, listen, y'all, we coming from different backgrounds, we coming from different spaces and different places on earth. Some of us been through different things, you know what I'm saying. We're still going through things. Don't limit yourself to your past, to you know how you grew up. Guess what? You're still growing. So no, I love it. I love, you know what I'm saying. I appreciate you, my brother. You know what I'm saying. So. Thanks.
Likewise.
And Lurk, and GodMomma, everyone in the chat and the panel.
We want to bring you back. Kanoom. It was wonderful having you. Salt, of course, you're always going to hit our panel, but we want to keep this dynamic going if you guys don't mind.
Yes, the chat was enjoying it. They said that we needed a part 2. Yeah, they like the conversation, so it's really good feedback.
Definitely. I always communicate with Lurk, you know what I'm saying. She's been rocking with me for a minute, you know what I'm saying. Shouts out to Lurk, honestly, because she's really just been a genuine person. I love genuine people, you know what I'm saying. That's my biggest thing in the world, because I've been around different people in my reality that weren't genuine. You know what I'm saying? So just having that there, you know what I'm saying? I just want to do a big shout out to Lurk, you know what I'm saying, through everything, thick and the thin, you know what I'm saying? She's been rocking. So I appreciate it.
All right. I love you, King Canoe. We will
All
definitely
right.
bring you back. Thank you so much for coming up here.
Hey,
peace out, brother.
You all. Peace.
Peace. Oh, what a blessing.
This was fabulous.
And King Salt, King Captain. Captain of the boat. What a wonderful, I love the lack of shyness. I love the straightforwardness. This is why I've always, enjoyed Salt. He's just, gets to the nitty gritty. He's not here to kiss your butt. He's not here to, put on some facade of, oh, this is social media, so I got to be cool for social media. The same stuff he says behind the scenes, he stands on business in front of the scenes. So Salt will forever be one of my favorite people. I don't know what to say.
Just because I'm light skinned doesn't mean I enjoy blushing. Let's get to the. Weren't we supposed to have some shenanigans? What's going on? Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get to the shenanigan parts. Thank you all for coming through. We've been here an hour and 40 minutes. This is 40 minutes over than what we anticipated. Mind you, we started a little rough. This is where this channel is headed. There will be no more live streams of me going solo dolo. You're gonna have some. Is there a moderator? 504. Drop my NAB channel in the chat, please. My gosh, because I still got some foolery I want to get out of my system. Period. I'm still gonna be at NAB. Wrenches were snatched. If you want to purchase a wrench, they're $50. I hate to do this to y'all. If you want a free wrench, go sub to my NAB channel. You can get a free wrench over there. I'm about to upload Roy calling the police and cussing his girlfriend out. I got it on. Girl, don't cut me off. If y'all want some wine, go hit up fundifee.com. Oh, she's got that wine for y'all. But if you want to sub to me, go to my NAB channel. Thank you. We are the consent.
And if you have a business and you want it promoted, shoot one of us a message on Instagram or follow the Instagram page. Because eventually things are going to start increasing. And today, I'm so grateful today went as smooth as it did. Because I was a little anxious, Why?
The build up. They don't know the build up to this.
Well, so I looked at the clock and it was 11:45, sir. And I hadn't eaten. I hadn't rolled up. I hadn't done anything. So I'm sitting here in the back stuffing my face.
Oh, that's why you kept turning your camera off.
No, not now. Before the show started. Okay. I was sitting there like, oh my God, let me shovel this shit in real quick. Because I was starved. Because I had to run to the store because it's about to snowstorm and it's about to get ugly.
This has actually been pretty fun. It's like all three different shades of light skin up here, and I'm loving it. It's like a whole color palette, and I'm loving it.
See, you're gonna make me pull out another fucking video while you're
Can we? I'm about to drop my NAB link though. Oh, I can't because I'm not
You to take your ass to the room, take a time out, bitch. I ain't about to vibe with nobody in my front seat that ain't got no positivity.
I ain't about to vibe with nobody in my front seat who ain't got no positivity.
So sit there for a second with that shit. Because then you're going to have them talking that shit about their colorism. And I ain't got time for that shit. Oh. But that is going to be a conversation. That's going to be a conversation.
Colorism? Yeah, it definitely needs to be. Now, for anybody in the chat, I say team light skin a lot. I talk about light skins as a joke. Don't think anybody's being serious. I really don't give a damn what color your skin is, as long as you don't say a bunch of dumb shit. Or even if you say a bunch of dumb shit, I don't care what the color of your skin is. But yeah.
I'm still gonna say some off the wall.
Thank you, 504. There's the backup channel. This is where you will see me uploading fuckery. Period. I didn't expect the Nature Boy soundbite. There's more where that came from, Lays. Don't you worry.
Don't you worry.
Don't you worry. And if you are not subscribed to GodMomma, please go subscribe to GodMomma as well. She's going to be still uploading stuff. Go subscribe to my backup channel. We will be back. We're doing a 6-week run. We have 6 weeks of shows planned for y'all. We've got this one plus another one plus another one plus another one plus another one. And we will be cammed up. We will be cute. We will be all of this. So we're here. And thank y'all for being here too. Thank y'all for being here too. I can't, you see, I covered, you know what I'm saying? I can't give y'all.
You got to go to the other channel for that.
You got to go to the other channel for that. All right. Is there anything else we need to end off with, GodMomma, that I'm not thinking of? I got a hold of G5 I got a hold of her. So anything else? Yes, T Black. Yes.
Do y'all see my question? Hold on. Daquan, no. Wait.
Y'all see my question? What was your question, Bobby?
So on Lil Nas X, I don't really know right now. Didn't he do
why do my hands? I have manly hands, by the way.
Lil Nas X is intentionally trying to get people to attack him at this point. He's intentionally trying to get people to attack him.
Well, Lil Nas is what do you call that when they call their puppets? Isn't that what Peeper's calling
like a plant for the industry or something?
Yeah.
Quite possibly to get people, you know what I'm saying, to not be focused on other things. Because I mean, it's like, yeah, go ahead.
That's the genre that they're pumping because Doja Cat was doing the demon thing. There's a lot of celebrity artists, Sam Smith. There's a lot of celebrity artists that are mainstream that we don't listen to in our culture, but there's a lot of celebrities in the main circuit that are using God as the other side instead of
right. Yeah, he's if you're gay, okay, go ahead and be gay. Nobody cares.
Thank you for being here, moderators. Thank you, moderators. Thank you.
Yeah, shout out to y'all.
If you're gay, go ahead and be gay. You can pretend to be pregnant, whatever. But when you're being gay and you had to make a video of you twerking on someone who's supposed to be the devil, like, what were you hoping to accomplish with that? You wanted to get, like, I don't know, you wanted to get shock and awe? It's like, you know how this is going to be received. I get it if you're just trying to be yourself and you don't care what people think. However, you have to have some sort of, let's call it I guess, just respect for people. To a certain level, shouldn't you? Some sort of decorum. There needs to be some sort of limit.
Well, let's just look at the whole where we're at in the world, Salt. No.
Yes, ma'am. Have a good day. Thank you.
No. No. People like you are not hyped on religion, so they're excited to see some non-religious stuff. They're excited to see some anti-religious.
Or to see maybe the mockery. The mockery of it.
It's like, even though, like, okay, I'm not a religious person, I don't believe in the gang member culture and all that, but I'm not going to intentionally going around, like, just because I don't agree with it doesn't mean I need to go around intentionally, purposefully disrespecting that. It's like, okay, this is what these people choose to believe in. If they're not doing anything to bother you and or harm you or those you love, what is the point of the blatant disrespect of that?
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
The conversation will bleed into next week because
lovely.
I think we all on this panel feel the same way. All of us on this panel feel the same way. But we've given y'all an hour and 48 minutes. This is a podcast. I have to upload this and put it on a podcast. thank you all for being here. But we got to cut it.
We will have some, just to let the audience know, we will have some times where we do go longer, where we will drop the link for you guys to interact on the panel as well. If you would like to be someone who comes on the show, feel free to hit one of us up.
Yep.
Behind the scenes, and
we'll bring you up.
We'll see what we can get popping.
I'm about to hop off. Can I just say one last thing before I go?
Yeah.
You've got the floor, sir.
This has been very fun. I enjoyed the hell out of it. My name is Sinister Salt. I am the verbal violator of the black sector. Do not sub to my channel. Do not tell people you agree with me or you like me, or they're going to look at you funny because I'll be doing all kind of fuck shit. Thanks for having me. Peace out, y'all.
Thank you, Salt, for doing that for us.
And we'll see you next Friday, Salt.
We will. And for everybody, if you're a replay gang, hit that motherfucking like.
Hit that like.
Hit that like.
And I'll see you. I'll see the NABs on the NAB backup. I will see you nothing ass on the.
Because we might have to turn up tonight, shorty. It's Friday night. We turning up tonight.
It's our first show. It's our first.
We gotta celebrate the first show, because I got some hypnotic, you know what I'm saying? I got a little phony fee in there, you know what I'm saying? Got a little
and hold on, Jody's here, so we got we on deck. Oh my God.
Oh, we did the same thing.
Oh my God. I know you are not showing up an hour and a half late. 2 hours late. Hi, we unlock. Hi, baby. You missed the show.
I can't. Can you hear him?
He's off mute. Yeah, you missed the show. We unlock. You missed the show, baby. We can't hear you.
Peace, Bobby.
Yeah, we can't hear you. We unlock. Fix that, babe. We're fixing to end the show, love. Oh, he dropped off. Okay. Well, we're fixing to end the show. He can holler at me. He's more than welcome to come back next week. We will be editing the thumbnail, though. Yeah. Facts.
Absolutely.
So you came in late. We unlock. We appreciate you, but you came late, baby. I'm sorry.
And hey, subscribe to, you may see it Lurker acting a fool later.
You might. We might be on. We might be back up acting a fool. We need subscribers on the backup. Anything else, my love bug?
No, ma'am. Thank you all for coming. We appreciate you. And we'll see you next Friday. Same time, same place. Well, maybe not same time, but maybe.
It will be the same place. Peace.
Definitely same place.